Alright, welcome back to another video talking all about Roblox Studio, and today we are going to look at the idea of a dictionary. Now, if you haven't reviewed my video on tables and tables part 2, please check that out. Super duper important concept, and we're going to be using a lot of the ideas from there, but we're going to look at the idea of key value pairs and how you can contain those together into what is known as a dictionary. So let's go ahead and first review what a table is. And a table without any key value pairs is going to be something like this. And normally, if I print this table, what I'm going to get here when I run it is the key mapping here, which is right here, and then the value, which is right here. Right? So you have these values here, which map to these right here. And again, hopefully this is review for you. If you've already watched my table video, we should know this. But you can then again perform what we like to call create, read, update, and delete, or CRUD operations upon that array / table to do specific things. Now, an extension of this is, let's say you wanted to change the key name. Let's go ahead and use an example here. Let's say local musicians, it's going to be this table right here, right? So let's say the first one is Anthony. Okay, and let's say Anthony's skill level as a musician is a 10. Let's say we have another key value mapping here. Let's say we have Miles Davis. Let's say Miles Davis's skill level musician is 20. And then let's say we have Oscar Peterson. And then his skill value, or what he can do, is, he's a legend, so we'll give him 1,000, right? So here are the key value pairs, and a collection of these, right, using the lists to form these into a collection, is a dictionary. So this is a dictionary. This is different than your normal table, which would be like local, data. This in table form normally would be something like 10, 20, 1,000, right? This is your normal table form. This is a dictionary, and this is the difference, right? So I want to make sure we understand the difference. Now, you can, again, with a dictionary, perform the same things here. But let's go ahead and look at some important concepts when it comes to our dictionary here. And dictionary being musician, this is your array. And this is your dictionary. Dictionary. Cool. All right. So let's go ahead and look here. When I type in musician here, and I type in 1, and I go ahead and print this, I'm going to go ahead and print this. Print musician 1. I am going to get a nil value. But if I print data 1, I will not. Okay, and after that, I'm going to go ahead and print the tables here and the dictionary. Print data. All right, let's go ahead and look here. It's going to print in my output window. So notice musician, when I looked for 1 here, didn't find a 1. Data did. Data found a 1. So let's look at why. Musician's key value pair is this. The key has now changed because I have given it a new key name here. But here, it didn't change. Do you see how it's not, it's still 1, 2, and 3 here, right? So when you have data 1, data 2, data 3, that's for arrays here. The indices are always the numbers, but for dictionaries, you don't have that. You have a change in your key value mapping. So that is the whole concept behind a dictionary, is you can change the key. An array is just the same thing here, but essentially, you have the same key as you had before with 1, 2, and 3. So that is what makes a dictionary different, right? Now let's look at our main operations that we can use when we work with a dictionary, right? And the 4 main operations whenever working with any table are create, read, update, and delete, known as our CRUD operations. So let's go ahead and do the easiest one, which is to read information. So you'll go musicians. You'll type in the key value pair here that you'd like. And just like that, this is how you can read or grab information from this table. So I go ahead and I'm going to print this, and I'm going to put this inside here. And it's going to print the value indicated with that. And just like before, instead of typing in, for example, in data, instead of typing in, data 1 to read, the key mapping is different. And that is the main difference between dictionaries and arrays. Okay? Now, to update information is very, very, very similar to this. You're going to do essentially the same thing here, except you're going to go ahead and type in musicians. Now you're going to put your bracket here, grab the key you would like to update. In this case, we'll update Miles Davis's. Then we're going to come here, we're going to do that, and we're going to set that equal to whatever we would like. So for example, if we wanted to update his skill level now, he's now much better, so he's going to be his old skill level plus 20, right? And now if I print that, it will now update his skill level to a 40 in the output window, as you see here. So this is again how you do the second CRUD operation, which is updates, and you essentially just treat this stuff exactly like variables and exactly like the data type it contains. Now, to create a new key value mapping is very similar to the array, but essentially instead of doing table inserts, which we did with the array, we're not going to use that. All you have to do is you type in the variable name for your dictionary, which is musician, and you type in this, and you type in a new key mapping that is not in here right now. So I'm going to go ahead and type in John Coltrane here, and then I'm going to set that equal to his skill level, which is by far up there, right? And this will add that new key value mapping here. So if I went and just printed musicians, you'll see that I have now updated and added a new musician to the bunch here. And here's John Coltrane, who is a legend and is right there. So this is how you can update stuff. And then the last thing here in our CRUD operations is delete. To delete stuff, you're going to type in the key value pair or the key mapping. Here's our key mapping for me. And let's say I am no longer a great musician or a musician. I am now nil, right? Setting a key mapping inside of a dictionary to nil in Roblox Studio will delete the key value pair mapping from the dictionary. So I go ahead and run here and I look, and I am no longer a great musician, sad face. All right, so, but these are your 4 CRUD operations, and this is how you can use them when working with dictionaries. Now, the next thing I'd like to look at is a special kind of for loop that is used a ton in programming, and that is the idea of using values in pair and stuff like that. So to do that, all you're going to do here is you're going to type in for key, comma, value in pair. You'll type in the table name. You can now do stuff to this, right? Now, what this syntax is a specific kind of for loop where it's going to loop through all the stuff in this table, and you can do things to it. So let's say, I wanted to print the key value pairs. I can do key, dot dot space is a great and awesome musician. His score is dot, and then I would type in value. And this will go ahead and update, and for each iteration inside of this dictionary here, it's going to print this. And this is a way you can loop through things and do things with things inside a dictionary, or do things with datum inside of dictionaries. It's a good way of putting that, right? But as you can see here, it went ahead and looped through my entire dictionary here and essentially printed what I wanted. To do this for arrays, instead of doing for key comma value in pairs, you're going to use what is known as I-pairs. So you can come here and you can do for key in I-pairs data do print b. And this works with arrays, and iPairs is going to work with arrays, whereas pairs works with dictionaries. So I'm going to go ahead and print this here, and it's going to print all my values. Oh, excuse me, it printed the key value here. We want d.value, but that's okay. You guys get the idea here. But essentially, this iPairs here is mainly used for your keys, or excuse me, your arrays, whereas pairs is used for dictionaries. So you would need to use musician here. And sometimes you'll see for underscore comma D in data used as well. And this works as well too. So again, these are ways to loop through arrays and tables to get and print specific values. And it's a specific type of for loop that is used, and it's used a ton in Roblox programming. So I hope that helped, and I hope this video was useful in showing you the basics behind dictionaries. There will be a part 2 to this because you can essentially use dictionaries to get into a programming concept called object-oriented programming, which we'll talk about in a second here. So I hope to see you in the next one.